Well, better late than never. Been a hot and dry summer. Today, though, the Denver metro area saw some pretty good downpours.
Meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen joining us with the Weather Impact team. Corey, we are expecting a similar setup tomorrow. Is that right?
Almost exactly the same. Good chance we'll see some widespread moisture in the state. Flash flood warnings will be possible. Lots of lightning. Take a look at the radar picture right now. The rain showers are starting to diminish across the area, except for maybe down to the south near the Colorado Springs area. All the flash flood warnings have expired. The only alert we have is that dense fog advisory that's on Interstate 80 to the west of Cheyenne. In our area, we're starting to see fewer showers, and that's going to remain that way through the night, just light showers. But even though we didn't get the widespread moisture that we were hoping for today, this made a huge impact. An entire day without direct sunlight. Look at these temperatures here along the Front Range, really low. So here's the headlines that'll impact you over the next few days going into the weekend. The monsoon pattern will remain. Afternoon clouds and rain chances straight through the weekend. Flood potential will remain, especially in the burn scars. And we're talking about cooler temps. We could be below 90 degrees for several days.
Tenants at an apartment building in Aurora have days to find somewhere else to live after the city now, I should say, is shutting down the complex for terrible living conditions.
Today, Aurora's mayor committed to us on Next. The city is willing to spend resources on temporary housing for people who need it. Advocates held a rally this afternoon outside Aspen Grove Apartments, asking for more time for the people there to find new housing. The city says the 15-day timeline from when they first put up the notices is required by the municipal code. Advocates say that short a time frame will inevitably put people on the streets.
Not to mention, they also know that on average, it takes at least 30 to 45 days to establish new housing even. That doesn't add up to me.
In a statement, the city said that staff is working to connect residents to resources. They're planning to cover the costs of new security deposits. Mayor Kaufman called the owners of that property out-of-state slumlords, noted that they're being taken to court later this month for allowing their properties to become so dangerous. The property owner and now 3 conservative city council members in Aurora say it's the city that's not telling the truth. They all claim, without evidence, that the building is actually being closed because it's been taken over by a Venezuelan gang.
That building has been a problem for years.
Mountains of garbage, rats, sewage, no electricity. Aurora Mayor Mike Kaufman defends the unprecedented decision by the city to close the entire apartment building at Colfax and Nome.
We've been working with this building and its owners for a very long time. I mean, they're out-of-state slumlords, and they haven't maintained the building.
The landlord from New York has hired a public relations firm out of Florida and now has several of Mayor Kaufman's fellow conservatives on Aurora City Council convinced that the real issue is not years of code violations, but a city cover-up of a takeover of the complex by a Venezuelan gang.
We have a Venezuelan gang problem that has taken over a number of our apartment complexes.
The city of Aurora says that's not true, and Aurora police urge City Council to be wary of misinformation.
We don't know that all the information that's publicly out there right now is correct. It's probably not.
Aurora police say they believe the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua is operating inside the Denver metro area. There's a new task force working to identify the number of gang members and what they're doing.
They're here. We know they're here. We think this was a test.
City Councilwoman Danielle Jurinsky suggested that a recent mass gathering of Venezuelans to await election results was linked to the gang. Mayor Kaufman says it's counterproductive to conflate a gathering of thousands of people with gang activity at a time when Aurora needs help from Venezuelan immigrants to root out the gang.
It's challenging because they tend to prey on their own. In other words, these are Venezuelan gang members within the Venezuelan community, which is new to our area, and there's a fear factor in terms of trying to get the cooperation among these Venezuelan migrants to report, that they're being victimized.
The conservatives on city council made clear that nothing the mayor or police were saying trumped their feelings.
This is what we believe. Our opinions are not up for debate. This is our beliefs. The 3 of us believe that there is a gang problem, a huge gang problem, that apartment complexes and areas of our city are being taken over.
Mayor Kaufman said his own recent comments about parts of Aurora being taken over by violent criminals was not a reference to the Venezuelan gang. The mayor says he was talking about areas along Colfax that have had long-standing issues with violence, drug dealing, and prostitution. You can see my full interview with Mayor Kaufman on the Next YouTube channel and on 9news.com.
New tonight, a middle school math teacher is accused of sexually assaulting a child, and a former principal is accused of failing to report it. The principal of Manhattan Middle School in the Boulder Valley School District sent out a note to families and staff tonight saying Dan Greenberg has been arrested. The note says he worked at Manhattan Middle School since 2019, but he's been with the district for nearly 23 years. He was placed on leave in March. The note says John Riggs is also charged with a misdemeanor of failure to report. He became principal of the school in 2013 and retired in 2022. The principal wrote, quote, "Nothing is more important than the safety of our students, and we are deeply troubled by these charges." The month-long trial of a Denver cardiologist accused of sexually assaulting women is now in the hands of a jury. 60 witnesses have testified over the past month. 11 women have come forward claiming Stephen Matthews drugged them. Of those 11, 9 claimed he sexually assaulted them. During closing arguments today, prosecutors called Matthews methodical and a gaslighter. They say he would meet women on dating apps, bring them back to his home, and drug their drinks. All of the women claim they lost their memory. Some say they had bruises and bite marks on their bodies. On the defense side, Matthews' attorneys argued police never recovered any forensic evidence that indicates the women were drugged. They also pointed out some of the women continued to date Matthews after they claimed he drugged them.
The women who have stood up to the defendant and come forward, the 11 women charged here, are not on trial. The defendant is on trial, and his actions are the ones that the focus needs to be on.
The case did have a lot of overwhelming emotion. We all were moved by testimony that you heard. It was tough to listen to. But that's what the case ended up being about: overwhelming emotion and underwhelming evidence.
The jury could come back with verdicts at any time. Matthews is facing a total of 38 charges.
A hiker accused of exposing himself to women over several months on trails in Jefferson County last year pleaded guilty as part of a plea deal. Court records show that Glenn Braden pleaded guilty to 3 counts today. More than a dozen other charges were dismissed. The 21-year-old was arrested last summer. He's set to be sentenced on September 30th.
A one-time ticket broker in Colorado is now facing charges after customers say she owes them a lot of money. Our Steve on Your Side team first exposed the troubles behind Ticket Secrets LLC last month.
Tonight, Jennifer Meckles joins us with an update on this case as it moves from social media complaints, Jenny, into the court system.
Yeah, Kyle, so Talia Yadgar was in court this morning in El Paso County. The 32-year-old ran Ticket Secrets LLC until things went totally south this summer. Customers told us that Yadgar would usually get them tickets, but couldn't guarantee the actual seats till 24 hours before the event. Turns out she was getting those tickets last minute, usually at a steeply discounted rate, until the business got behind when prices did not drop for 2 popular shows in Denver this summer. Customers say she claimed a family emergency, ghosted them, and they never got their refunds. They got together, organized a Facebook group tracking who is owed what collectively, and they claim it's hundreds of thousands of dollars now. Last month, one customer told us she's not sure she'll ever get her money back.
I know in the end, there's so many of us that are owed money that we're never gonna recoup the money that we've all lost. I do think in the end that we deserve something out of this. We deserve to hear from her. We deserve to hear the why.
So now this court system case, right? The felony charge is tied to an El Paso County customer. Court documents say she paid $2,500 for Taylor Swift tickets, then tried to get a refund when she realized Ticket Secrets was in business trouble. Different customer, not this woman. Anyway, the woman that's tied to the court case never got her money back. Yadgar did not respond to a reporter's question outside of court today when she was in there for an appearance. Last month, her attorney told us Ticket Secrets was headed for a bankruptcy filing. The money's frozen. She will be back in court next week and will continue to follow this case. Jennifer Meckles, 9 News.
The Coloradan who was hurt while on vacation assumed her travel insurance would cover her emergency transportation home. Company, though, repeatedly denied her claim.
I knew it was horrible and egregious when it happened, but as I get farther away from it, I'm like, are you kidding me?
We'll let you know what happened when we got involved with this, coming up on 9 News at 10.
Tonight, after more than 50 years in business, the Chez Artistes movie theater is permanently closed. Dozens of people gathered at the theater tonight to celebrate its long run in the city and to, say goodbye. Even though the Chez is done showing movies, fans say the memories made there will last them a lifetime.
They have created a unique environment unlike anything else in Denver. I come from New York. When I moved to Denver, I'm like, where are all the movies? And there are movie theaters, but the Chez are like family.
Landmark Theaters also closed the Esquire last month after more than 100 years in operation. The company has 2 remaining Colorado locations and said they do expect to keep those 2 theaters open.
One of the area's best-known steakhouses is closing its doors after 2 decades in its current location. Elway's announced its Cherry Creek spot will close on August 31st. The restaurant's website says it's because of the Cherry Creek Mall redevelopment project. The restaurant says it's working with developers to determine a new location after construction is finished.